Ladies and gentlemen, to those among you who are easily frightened, we suggest you turn away now. To those of you who think they can take it, we say, welcome to the madhouse.
Hello and welcome back to the Madhouse. I am your host, Joey, and your other host for today joins me after we've recently been reanimated ourselves since playing some pretty heavy, very messy gigs lately. He is the man that puts the oi oi in Toy Boy. The man who in the early noughties wanted to call getting wrecked online getting e-wrecked. I don't know why that didn't catch on. And he was cast as Pope Sixtus IV in BBC's worldwide historical fantasy drama series Da Vinci's Demons in 2013.
Hello, alright?
Yeah, you? It's Jimmy, by the way. That's
Hello, yeah.
Describing.
Lovely intro as always.
Yeah. You are the Jimmy that was educated at the Royal Centre School of Speech and Drama, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
obviously.
Cool.
Yeah.
You do look young for born in 1948.
There's a picture in my attic that you're not allowed to look at.
Oh, okay.
Dorian Gray.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
I'm saying. Yeah. Right.
This is your choice.
Yes, it was.
Take it away.
Re-Animator, 1985. And it?
Yes.
I've not got all the facts laid out in front of me, so I'm gonna wing it.
1985, directed by Stuart Gordon.
Yes, loosely based on H.P. Lovecraft's Herbert West Re-Animator.
Very loosely, apparently.
Yes, it is. I read it and it's very good.
You can tell us all every single inconsistency along the way, then.
Basically all of it.
Yep, that's what I read.
Right.
So we are diving into a plot slot.
Yeah.
If you're ready to dive into the plot slot.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, take it away.
10 minutes. Right. At a medical school in Zurich, Switzerland, a dean is called in to investigate a disturbance in one of the labs. When he enters with a policeman and nurse, they find one of the school's professors, Gruber. Little side note, his name's Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
No relation?
No.
That we know of.
Came about 3 years before Die Hard. Anyway, he's screaming in agony.
As he fell from a Nakatomi tower. Because a med student... he's with med student Herbert West. Gruber's skin has turned purple.
His eyes are bulging.
Yeah, his eyes are bulging and they explode.
Spewing blood.
The stricken man falls dead and the dean asks West if he had killed the doctor, to which West replies, no.
No, I gave him life. West arrives at Miskatonic University in New England in order to further his studies. He rents a room from medical student Dan Kane, played by Bruce Abbott, and converts the house's basement into his own personal laboratory. There's an instant animosity between West and faculty member Dr. Carl Hill, played by David Gale. Also, his toupee should get an honourable mention. I don't know what the name of the toupee was. West declares that Hill stole the theory of brain death from West's late mentor, Dr. Hans Gruber. Hill vows that West will never get a passing grade in his class.
So Dan has been carrying on a clandestine love affair with Megan, daughter of Miskatonic's medical school's dean, Dr. Halsey. Megan and Dan know that if her father finds out about the relationship, Dan could be expelled.
Which is weird, because they turn up at his house while they're having a dinner.
Yeah, but they're pretending to just doing the whole we're going to go study.
Oh, we're going to go study bullshit.
Study
right.
sex.
Yeah, okay.
Dan discovers that West has reanimated his dead cat, Rufus, with a glowing reagent. That's a good scene when they find the cat in the fridge.
Yeah, real cat as well.
It was a real cat.
Yeah.
West recruits Dan as his partner in research to defeat death. Dan's fiancée, Megan, because they're engaged now, dislikes West.
Just quick, the whole film's just rapid. It escalates.
One thing after another.
Yeah.
Megan dislikes West, especially after discovering her cat, Rufus, dead in the fridge, and then reanimated in a state of dismemberment on the table.
Hill manages to turn Dr. Halsey against both West and Dan. Barred from the school, West and Dan sneak into the morgue to test the reagent on a human subject in an attempt to salvage their medical careers. The corpse revives and goes on a rampage, naked, attacking the duo.
I got a fact later about that.
Oh, good.
Naked dude. The dean stumbles upon the scene originally to force them out of the morgue for trespassing because they've both been fired or kicked out. Sorry. And despite attempts by both West and Dan to save the dean, he is killed by the reanimated corpse.
Armed with a bone saw, West dispatches the reanimated cadaver. Unfazed by the violence and excited at the prospect of working with a freshly dead specimen, West injects Halsey with the reagent. Halsey returns to life, but in a zombie-like state.
So Dr. Hill discovers West's work and gains guardianship over Halsey, who is the dean, and he puts him in a padded cell adjacent to his office, which is handily placed. Just
well
right there.
Convenient, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right next door.
I've got one, obviously, but it's not as convenient in my house as it is to his office. So Dan and Megan break into Hill's office, where they find evidence that Hill is obsessed with Megan and has lobotomized her father.
Hill has gone to confront West in his basement lab and threatens to blackmail him into continuing his research so that Hill can take credit for West's reagent. While Hill is distracted, West hits and then decapitates him with a shovel.
Yeah, that's a good bit. Overcome with curiosity, West reanimates both Hill's head and body separately, because they are separate.
Honestly, we're going to have to get into that because that's annoyed me.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make much sense. But yeah, we'll get into it. While West is questioning Hill's head and taking notes, Hill's body knocks him unconscious.
Of course.
How the brain's getting the messages there.
Oh, mate, it's mental.
Although, I know I did read originally it was meant to have telekinesis or something.
Oh, right,
but it
okay.
was taken out. Anyway, we can talk about it later.
Yeah.
The body carries the head and steals West's reagent, returning to Hill's office. Exercising mind control over the dean, Hill sends him out to kidnap Megan from Dan.
West and Dan track Halsey to the morgue, where they find Hill's body holding his head in a compromising position over a restrained Megan. It's a bit weird. West distracts Hill while Dan frees Megan. Hill reveals that he has reanimated and lobotomized several corpses from the morgue to do his bidding.
However, Megan manages to get through to her father, who I want to talk about later because he's having a bad time.
Yep.
He manages to fight off the other corpses long enough for Dan and Megan to escape. In the ensuing chaos, Halsey is torn to pieces by the corpses after he destroys Hill's head, and West injects Hill's body with what he believes is a lethal overdose of the reagent.
Hill's body mutates horribly and attacks West, who screams out to Dan to save his work as he continues fighting. He is dragged towards the monstrosity, his fate unrevealed.
That is a monstrosity as well, because this thing just pops out from inside of him. I'm assuming it's supposed to be some part of the human body, but I don't know what
I
it is.
thought it was like intestines.
It was like 5 inches wide.
Human intestines are really big. The large intestines.
That guy must have not taken a shit for like a month.
Probably not.
Maybe the reagent gives you constipation as well.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
why they're all pissed off. All
Yeah,
these
probably.
zombie things like, I need a shit. Anyway, Dan retrieves the satchel containing West's reagent. As Dan and Megan run from the morgue, one of the reanimated corpses attacks and kills Megan in the lift.
Dan takes her to the hospital emergency room and tries in vain to revive her, like the very first time where he tries to save someone.
The intro to the film.
Yeah.
Sorry, not the intro, but the next bit.
Yeah. In despair, he injects her with the reagent. Just after the scene fades to black, Megan screams, implying that her reanimation has backfired.
Yeah, so it worked, but it's given her too much. She's gone mental.
She's gone mental. Crackers. Come on, we've done like 10 minutes.
We have.
Yes.
Let me check. Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left.
What
What do you want to do? Like, just silence for 2 minutes, or should we move on?
Let's move on.
It doesn't feel right not having that dun 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 thing.
That's true.
Anyway, so plot slot's done in under 10 minutes. I think we've done that twice now in 9 episodes, because this is episode 9.
Yep, second time.
Enter our competition that ends in the next episode. Email us your favourite horror movie and tell us why it's your favourite horror movie, and your name will be picked out a hat to win some free Night of the Living Dead stuff.
Oh, lovely jubbly.
And with that, we're going to move on over to Frights and Delights.
Here we go. It's Frights and Delights. I'm going to come straight at you with a lovely little delight. Right, you know the security guard outside the morgue?
Yes.
A black dude, and he's always reading a porno mag.
Yeah, any chance for a break?
And yeah, exactly. And he's not nipping off for a coffee.
Alright.
He's actually going off for he's actually going off to have a quick wank.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's not.
You know what? He kept saying time for a break and being cheeky, and I was like, your whole job's a break. You sat there playing cards. Why can't you have a coffee at your desk?
Yeah, he's nipping off for a quick. What would you call it? Quick and shandy.
Was choking a chicken.
Choking a chicken.
We go with
He's going off to choke his chicken. Lovely.
Nice.
I've got another one actually that's quite amusing. Dan, in his room, he has a talking heads poster.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And the doctor then later becomes a talking head.
Yeah, it's one of those nice little touches.
Yeah, simple but effective.
Well, I'm going in with a fright.
Okay.
This film destroyed a marriage. David Gale's wife left him and divorced him not long after the... That's not laughing. I'm not laughing, I promise.
No, we shouldn't
After the
laugh
film
at that.
was released. It was said in the DVD's audio commentary by other members of the cast that they suspected the attempted rape scene where Dr. Hill, played by David Gale, starts to go down on Megan as a severed head that his body is holding to her lady business. That was the reason for the divorce. It is a very strange scene. It's a very full-on scene.
Yeah, they tried to... Well, they wouldn't release it in Britain unless they cut that bit out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it is one of those scenes that's kind of pushing the line a bit. But I would have... You know, if I was doing a scene like that, I would have talked to my wife and said, this is what I'm doing, by the way.
Well, actually, she should go... Well, he should go, right, look here, love. I'm an actor. I'm going to be acting today. I'm going to be a severed head, and I'm going to go down on this woman who's far too young for me. But it's acting.
Yeah.
Just acting.
That's what I meant. Give her a heads up.
Yeah.
It's my job. I've got to do this. Just letting you know. So it's said that his former wife stormed out shouting, "David, how could you?" It was not obvious to me from what they said whether they meant she stormed out on set or at a screening or whatever. Apparently, David Gale did say while making the scene, "I feel awful doing it." Sorry, I feel awful doing this. Clearly, his wife thought the same, but more so, and she did one. Packed up, fucked off. Don't know. I. That sounds like to me she's like on set and he's just doing his job and he's not forewarned her, and she's like, what the shit is happening here?
Oh, but it's acting though. She should... Maybe there was some underlying
She could have been very religious. At his age, in the 80s, brought up 50s.
Yeah, probably
40s,
50s, yeah.
Yeah. He died at 54 in 91, so whatever. But you know what I mean? So anyway, that happened.
Big props to his wig, which...
yeah, that's a delight.
That is a delight. It is his toupee, but it's not actually his toupee because he does actually have hair. They made him shave his hair
And wear a toupee.
and wear a toupee, because I think it was so it looked like, you know, that part where the body's walking around with the
It's the prosthetic head.
prosthetic head.
They could get two wigs that look the same, but it would have been really hard to make the prosthetic head's hair look like his hair.
Yes, so they shaved all his hair off and popped a tube on it. And it stole the show. If I could give it Master of the Macabre, I'd give it to the toupee.
Alright, okay.
We'll get to that anyway.
Right, I'm going for a couple of delights in a row. Bang, bang.
Lovely.
The reagent was liquid from glow sticks, and it looked awesome, and I loved it. It was a
looked
brilliant
great.
touch. I saw that it was the first time glow stick liquid had ever been used on film. I don't see why that is a props for a film, and I don't see how they could prove it was true. In 1985...
I've not seen many films that have...
No, but I find it really hard to think that's the first time someone's gone, this stuff would be awesome.
I mean,
I'm not saying they're lying.
No, I mean, it looks
Find it
fucking
odd.
great, though, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Anyway, the other one is 24 gallons of fake blood. That's insane. The special effects guy, Noelin,
Yeah.
said the most he had ever used in a film before was 2 gallons, and this was 24 gallons.
God, blimey.
It's quite a lot.
That's a lot.
All right, what you got now?
So there was I think you mentioned this earlier, not on air, but earlier, there was originally a subplot that revealed that Dr. Hill had the ability to control minds, and it was cut from the film because of the timing, and that sort of explains why, at the end, he can control all those zombies.
Yeah, he was lobotomizing
them.
and doing something else, but he had some sort of mind control. It wasn't obvious, but it's obvious.
It wasn't
there was
obvious
something
when you read it. Now that I'm reading it, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now.
But when I watched it, and
Yeah.
all these bodies just came out like synchronized perfectly, just with no real cue, it was a bit strange, but it does make sense knowing that. I'd love to watch the original 2.5 hour long. That's one of my. Is it one of my? No, it's not. It was nearly one of my. No, it is one of my delights. The first cut was 2.5 hours long. The released version is 87 minutes. So I would love to watch that 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think I've got it on DVD. I think I've got the full thing.
Well, that's a weekend thing for us to do then.
Lovely. I read an article. No, it wasn't really an article. It was somebody whose mum had a lobotomy. She writes about it growing up with a mum that's had a lobotomy.
Okay.
And she didn't know why her mum was like acting all weird, and she didn't know why her mum had like her hair over her forehead.
She suddenly had a fringe.
Yeah, but it was because her dad was a doctor and got her mum lobotomized, properly removed the 2 frontal lobes from her brain, and she had this dip in her head, and it was like metal plate on it. It's an interesting article. I can't remember what it is, and I can't remember what the woman's name is, but...
Is that your story for today?
Yes, I wish I could go into more, but as always, I'm very underprepared.
I'm going to once again plug a podcast that doesn't need plugging because it's doing way better than we are, but stuff you should know, do an absolutely amazing episode on lobotomies if you want to go and check that out.
Ooh,
I can't tell you what number it is, they've got thousands of episodes. Right, dildo enthusiast news.
Yes, about time.
The lady that Dan is resuscitating at the beginning of the film was a self-described dildo enthusiast. And she would hide dildos with the fake dead bodies on the set in the morgue. Now, that's weird, right?
Is it? I thought we all knew a dildo enthusiast.
I think these days most people are dildo enthusiasts. It's all right these days. It's not even called that these days because just everyone's got one. But hiding them on set, how many do you have to like a disposable dildos to just hide around set?
Oh, she's an enthusiast, so I imagine she's got quite a lot.
Okay. My next delight was David Gale's wig, but we've already done that.
Props to the wig.
I've got one more. You got any more?
I've got one more, yeah.
Okay, you go.
Barbara Crampton, who plays Megan.
Yes.
She does all her own screaming.
Ooh.
Yeah, I thought that's all right. Well done.
Why is that even
I don't know why that's a thing.
a thing to
like-
attribute to someone?
Yeah, well done. You've done your job today.
Yep. I mean, she did other stuff.
She did
Did she
other
do all
stuff.
her? Did she not do anything else? Was all her talking dubbed, and that's why it's notable to say at least she did her own screams.
Yeah, maybe. She got her tits out as well, didn't she?
A couple of times.
Not
Okay.
being chauvinist. She got her bangers out.
We didn't see any dick in this film.
No, that's true. There's no penis in this film. Well, he was naked.
I was going to say,
That
did we
the
see
naked
some
zombie.
dick?
Naked zombie.
Yeah. And talking about naked zombies, that's my last delight.
Yes.
We got to see a naked zombie. That naked zombie was played by none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger's stunt double. He's that first corpse in the morgue to be reanimated, the one that kills the dean. He was Arnie's stunt double for 14 movies from 1984 in The Terminator all the way to 1996 in Jingle All the Way.
Bloody hell. Peter Kent, his name was, wasn't it?
Sure.
Yes, it was Peter Kent. Wow, that's a good run. 1984, 1986.
As a stunt double, I mean, it wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Good point.
In shape, though. Anyway, Master of the Macabre,
Let's do it.
moseying on over.
Master of the Macabre.
Welcome to the Master of the Macabre, where we are going to pick our favourite performer in this film. Who have you got, Jimmy? Who and how many?
Right, so I've got two. One is obviously Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yes.
Terrible at the names on this show. And the other, obviously, is David Gale's wig.
Okay.
But nah, seriously, Jeffrey Combs is what I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, Jeffrey Combs. David Gale's wig has won.
Yeah.
The only person I had for this was Jeffrey Combs because I don't think anyone else really came close. I would have picked David Gale as a second option, but it would have been lies. It was never going to happen.
No, it was alright, but he weren't good. It was Jeffrey's first lead role,
Yeah.
and he's gone on to do Bride of the Re-Animator and Beyond Re-Animator. Both good films. I think we'll get there one day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's got some great lines in it. Who's going to believe a talking head? Get a job in a sideshow. This is one of them.
Great one.
I like that.
He regretted that
Oh, yes.
because the Who's Going to Believe a Talking Head got a laugh and in the cinema, and everyone missed him saying get a job in a sideshow.
Yeah. He's got another one that he didn't like, and I quite like it. He says, he took my serum, except for the one I have upstairs.
No, I don't like that.
I like
You like it,
I
but
like
it's too explainy to people. He's taken some, but don't worry, I still secretly
still
have
want
some
some.
for the purpose of the storyline.
Yeah.
I think it's clumsy, clunky writing.
Yeah, not very good writing, but I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's shit but good.
Yeah, I think there's shit but good, but then there's accidentally shit.
Oh, that accidentally shit. Yeah.
I think that line was accidentally shit. I think sometimes with the shit, it's on purpose,
Yeah.
and it works because it's done with a certain angle. Anyway, with Jeffrey... Oh, you doing more lines?
No?
No. You look like you're like Shakespearean actor warming up then. Jeffrey Combs, I think, is a good example of perfect casting for the part. His eyes are almost psychopathic.
Yeah, he's got that crazy smile as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's got that youthful looking face, but still looks menacing.
Yeah.
He manages to like effortlessly have something about him that's off-putting. I mean, I've never met the man in life, so maybe that's just how he is.
Yeah.
Creepy, soft voice. But like when he asks other characters things or to do things, it's not like he is asking. It's like he's telling or demanding.
He's definitely demanding because I think he thinks he knows he is better than everybody else.
I am such a genius, so obviously I know better.
Yeah. He's been with Hans Gruber in Switzerland.
Well, one example I thought of was when he was looking around the basement and he goes, "Should I move in now?" Literally, he's handing over the money as though it's a done deal while he's saying that, as in, I know it's customary to ask, but this is happening. So I think he did a really good job, and since he's our only choice, I mean, that wig, though,
Could the wig pinch it right at the end? No.
No, because
I don't think
no.
so.
We're better than that.
Yeah.
This means something. This medal, we'll make
Coveted.
a farce of this whole thing if we give it to a wig.
That's true. It's a good wig, though. Well done.
Was a good wig.
Right.
Honourable mention goes to the wig, Herbert West. No, not Herbert West. That's the character.
Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Combs.
Medals in the post.
It's on its way to Miskatonic University in New England. Check your mail.
Right, we're blasting through this quite quick, but we are gonna
It's hot though, isn't
slowly. Yeah. If it feels like we're like, it's because it's like 1,000,000 degrees right here.
Yeah.
Even close the window so we don't get any outside noise for you guys. That's how dedicated we are.
Sweating.
But it does mean we have to drink a lot of booze. So we're gonna take a break and have another can or two, and then we're gonna do the Madhouse rating system.
The Madhouse rating system.
Right, here we go. Let's resurrect the Madhouse rating system. First up, we got tension and suspense.
Right, so the best tension and suspense in this film is the character tension, I think.
Okay.
It's amazing between everyone, and I reckon it's the best use of tension and suspense in the whole film. Herbert and Dan have an uneasy understanding. There's always tense between those two.
Yeah.
Like the ends justify the means type thing is keeping Dan going. Herbert just wants to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
Herbert's always manipulating Dan in some way. Herbert and Dr. Hill hate each other. It's constantly tense between them. It's a seething rise of anger between the both of them until Herbert smacks him on the bonnet with a shovel and kills him. And even that doesn't end it.
No.
Comes back. Dan and Meg are together but have this tension between them because it's a secret relationship. They're constantly contradicting each other's decisions. She never wants him to hang out with Herbert or do any of the bad stuff. I mean, she's right.
Yeah.
But it's a conflict. The Dean is stuck between Herbert and Dr. Hill in a few parts where they're having a dig at each other. Dr. Hill wants to get in Meg's pants.
Yes.
There's this constant crossover of this character tensions, and Meg's constantly feeling a bit awkward around Dr. Hill. She kind of can tell he fancies her. She probably doesn't understand the extent.
No, he's obsessed with her, isn't he?
Yeah, and Dr. Hill is jealous of Dan because he can tell they're boning on the side.
Yeah.
The whole film is like this just masterclass in what is character dynamics of things.
Yeah,
That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best thing here for the tension and suspense is the writing for the characters, the dynamics between all of them. Sometimes you have a love triangle. This is like some kind of weird 10-dimensional thing.
It's all over the shop.
Yeah, but it's done really well and they act it really well. So that for me is the best part of tension and suspense.
Lovely.
Have you got anything you want to say? I got a bit more.
Nope. Have you got more?
I think, of course, there's moments where you get the usual horror film suspense, which are all done really well. Meg finding Rufus the cat in the fridge dead. That's a good one.
Yep. She goes mental because the cat's gone.
Yeah, and she goes looking for him, suspects something to do with it. Herbert goes into his room, the strings playing while she's walking around. We get that following camera of her behind. She searches around the house, eventually is in Herbert's room, and then the shadow of Herbert appears behind her, the silhouette, just kind of standing over her.
She's jumped to quite a big conclusion right at the start, I think.
Why?
That Herbert stole her cat. Or the cat.
Well, she said that Rufus doesn't like Herbert, and she's not seen. I thought the cat had buggered off.
Yeah, it's just a bit weird. She's just gone right. The cat's gone. It's got to be Herbert.
Yeah,
It's a bit weird. What's he done with it?
So when everyone's in the morgue, towards the end, just after the weird attempted rape scene, Herbert's no longer the bad guy.
I think it's called the giving head scene.
Yeah, that's clever. So Herbert's no longer the bad guy. He's still a bad guy, but Dr. Hill is now the main bad dude.
Yeah.
And Herbert now seems like some kind of anti-hero trying to save the day, even though he's a weirdo. Anyway, they're all trapped in the morgue. Dr. Hill activates like the 1985 synchronized coming back to life team.
Yes.
And all seems lost. They're all about to die, and the Dean, who so far has been killed by a zombie, brought back to life,
Yeah.
institutionalized,
Yeah.
lobotomized,
Yeah.
forced into kidnapping his own daughter so she can be raped by a headless doctor that was previously dead himself.
Yep.
He looks at his daughter and thinks, this has been a weird week.
And also, like, she's naked at this point as well, isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
So that's also weird. Like,
He's carrying her naked.
he's carrying a, yeah.
Yeah, so he thinks,
Maybe it's not weird for him. I don't know. It's
Uh,
weird for me.
well, he's not himself.
No.
But he
he's-
becomes more
you're
himself
right.
at this point. He looks at her,
Yes.
thinks, I think this is all a bit off, to be honest. I've had a bad week.
Yeah.
It's not going great. So he turns on Dr. Hill, throwing his body out into the hall, followed by squishing his head and eyeballs with his bare hands, launching it into a wall to splatter everywhere. There's an absolutely fantastic shot after that where there's this bright light in front of all, with all these silhouettes in front of it of people fighting dead people.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. This whole kind of build up of this suspense to, you can't see in a silhouette who's fighting who and who's who, so you don't know what's going on. And in the end, they're in the lift with Dan axing off the arm of some dead person, and then of course him reanimating Meg at the end, and you even end on a bit of her screaming, just being reanimated, so you don't even know how the film ends. Really,
Yes.
you know how the film ends, but you don't know how the story truly ends. That's anyway. That whole thing is pretty tense, action-packed sequence.
Yeah,
if you
did
ask
it
me.
work? Did it not work? The screaming suggests that it didn't work.
It worked. She's back to life, but
But-
it didn't work how he wanted it to.
She's gone a bit like Rufus, the
Yeah.
cat, I think.
Yep.
Right. What are you saying? I'm saying star.
Yeah, I give it a star.
Boom. Right. Gore and visual effects. I've got one here. The brains in the severed head were made up of steer meat byproducts, ground beef, and fake blood.
So what is steer meat?
Cow.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I
Bulls,
read
cows.
that and I was like, I don't even know what steer meat
It's
is.
American, ain't it? They call them steers. Steers.
Cow skin.
It's like there's
Muscle.
only two things that come out of Texas: steers and queers. And you don't look like a cow to me, boy.
What's that from?
That is from a Full Metal Jacket.
Oh shit! Yeah, I watched that a few weeks ago. I knew I recognised that quote. It's because you weren't yelling it in my face like a mental kid. Do you know the guy from Full Metal Jacket who played that guy?
Yes.
I can't remember any of their names. He was hired for Full Metal Jacket to be an advisor for the actor who was going to be the drill sergeant, but he was so good they were like, why don't we just use him
This guy, yeah,
instead of
'cause he
getting him to teach him how to do what he's already doing?
Yeah, he was actually a drill sergeant.
Yeah,
wasn't he? Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that film.
So that was all shot in an autopsy room with the severed head and that being thrown around, and smashing into the hallway, and all the crew had to wear bin bags over their clothes so they didn't get all the fake blood everywhere. As we said before, it was 24 gallons of fake blood.
Yeah, and they had no idea how far the splatter was going to splat.
Yeah, it was gonna go everywhere.
So, can we talk about the intro?
Yeah.
When Herbert West is reanimating the corpse of Dr. Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber.
Is that the right accent? Hans Gruber?
Hans Gruber.
I don't know. The guy from Die Hard that's not the guy from Die Hard. Because that was one hell of an opening to a movie anyway.
Yeah.
There's these brilliant bulging eyes that explode into fountains of blood. Some films kind of build up and show you what type of film you're in for.
Yeah.
This film just jumps straight in there and is like, yep, strap the f*** in because we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then the intro credits are absolutely amazing as a visual effect, like all on their own. This animation sequence bursting with colour and the absolutely amazing score. So lots of blood, lots of gore, amazing effects in all aspects. But I was really impressed with a lot of the gore and practical effects in this, such as the headless body carrying the dismembered head.
Yes, I'm going to be a bit picky about that and say I'm a bit annoyed because he's headless and his body's on the floor. So Herbert reanimates the head. Okay, good. Well done. It works. Why reanimate the body?
He's curious to see if
If
they
you
would
can do
work
it,
separately.
I get it, but then, you just think, what are you doing, you tit?
Well, if
Also-
we're being picky, I want to pick as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If we're doing this,
Yeah, we are.
there's a head on a tray
Yeah.
going with no lungs
Thank you. Yes, no lungs.
and talking
No vocal cords,
Yeah,
surely. Because the lungs...
right through. He got
Yeah.
spade right through the vocal cords.
Yeah. And the lungs... Breath
It's got no
stimulates the vocal
diaphragm.
cords. That's how you talk,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah.
So that was annoying.
Also, the fact that the body is following his command, even though he's got no connection, like the electric signals from his brain are not reaching his body.
Yes. But we have said that he supposedly can control...
Yeah, in the uncut version.
Yeah.
I think the head being carried by the body, which is impossible,
Yeah.
was done as an effect very well. A storytelling device, not so great.
You can tell that he's just kneeling down.
Yeah, but do you not like it?
I do like it a lot.
It's a camp comedy horror.
Yeah, it's great.
It's nice.
Same with that bit when Herbert West puts the bone saw through the other zombie. And
Oh,
you can
yeah.
tell it's a fake chest.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing that I'm on about that looked good, that in Horror Hospital they just didn't achieve.
yes.
It looked bad, but bad.
Yeah.
This is good, bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so the person in charge of makeup effects was a man called, and I'm going to say he's called with air quotes because I have no idea how to say his last name, John Nowlin,
Okay.
or Naulin. Anyway, he used photos of corpses from the Cook County morgue as reference for his effects. Him and Gordon also studied a forensic pathology book to really capture the look of a dead body with pooling blood and its various grisly skin tones that come with it.
Oh.
There's a lot of work to get this right, and it does show in the finished product, especially with that first Arnold Schwarzenegger's dude killing someone. They've not just got someone to pretend to go. "Ooh." They've really made him look like he could have been dead for a bit.
Yeah. The biggest makeup challenge in the film was the headless Dr. Hill zombie. Tony Doubling designed the mechanical effects and was faced with the problem of proportion once the 9-10 inches of the head were removed from the body. Each scene forced him to use a different technique. For example, one technique involved building an upper torso that David Gale could bend over and stick his head through, so it appeared to be that he was walking like a headless corpse and he was carrying it around.
Yeah,
I think they pulled it off all right for 1985.
It's an awkward pose to hold, kneeling
Yeah.
down, but I don't think he did it for long. I've got something here you're going to like. I don't know if you came across this.
Okay.
The gurney that they used. You know what a gurney is?
Yes, I think that
Dead
they
person,
pushed-
table on wheels.
Yes.
It had to have a hole cut in it,
Oh, okay.
so Gale could stick his head through it for that scene where his head's on the gurney. Yeah?
Yeah.
The gurney is the same one they used in Return of the Living Dead.
Is it?
And it was used specifically because it already had a hole in it from the I can feel myself rotting
Oh, that's
scene.
good. I didn't know that.
So I read they borrowed it. I just think they nicked it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember what year Return of the Living Dead was.
It's 1985.
Same. Well, yeah. There you go then.
Yeah, I put this in the same sort of class as
Yeah,
Return of
definitely.
the Living Dead. I think Re-Animator is at the top of the league of that little class.
Yeah.
I think. What did I just say?
Return of the Living Dead.
Right, Re-Animator is at the top of the class,
Okay.
and Return of the Living Dead's just below it, but they're in the same league.
Yeah. The league table of camp comedy horror.
Yeah.
I think it's my favourite type of horror film.
Oh, yeah, I enjoy it. It's good. It's funny. It doesn't take itself too seriously, I think.
I prefer this to stuff like Hereditary and
Yeah.
Green Room.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Don't know why. Just more fun.
Well, yeah, it is more fun. You're right.
Okay. I'm done.
Okay.
I think for gore and visual effects, and I'm giving it a star. If you're giving it a star,
That's a star.
it's 2 out of 2. It's doing pretty well.
Lovely jubbly. Right, next up, performance.
Right, so first, before we get into any detail, I want to say that Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton, Robert Sampson, and Stuart Gordon all went on a trip to an insane asylum and a morgue in preparation for the film.
That's quite good.
So when you think of the performance in the film, no matter what you think of the outcome, that is the level of commitment you're getting from performers and a low-budget film. I'm guessing not getting paid much.
Probably not. That's quite good, though. Method-y, isn't it?
Yeah, just finding out what's what.
Yeah. Well, that's quite similar to Hereditary, isn't it? When they went out
Yeah.
pretending to be their characters. I think that's quite good. Right, got any more on that?
A couple of bits, I think. You?
Yeah. Go on, you go first.
The people that played the corpses that have been reanimated all worked together in their own time to make sure they all look good and moving together as these dead bodies brought back to life.
Oh, that's good as well. Did they do it at the YMCA?
Yes, they did. Have you read that by any chance?
Yeah.
Or was that just a really good guess?
No, it's just a guess, wasn't it?
Was that what you had next?
No. No, I'm talking about David Gale's toupee again.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know why I'm putting it in performance, but it was a good performance.
From the toupee.
Yeah, so they made him shave his head, and it was basically we've said before that it couldn't match the prosthetic head, but it was a budgetary reason. Said they didn't have enough cash to match his real hair with the fake hair on the prosthetic head, so they shaved it off, gave it a toupee. So give it up for the toupee.
The toupee's performance. I'm going to move on.
I think you should move on, because I think I've been captured by the toupee, and it's clouding my judgment of the entire film.
I think you're worried about your hair thinning too much. And
It is thinning.
They had just 18 days to shoot this film, 16 days of principal filming and 2 days of reshoots. That's a pretty tight schedule when you consider the original cut of the film is 2.5 hours. So I think the cast did really well to give a performance as good as they did in that time. It does have moments of not so great acting, but nothing worth mentioning. Overall, performance gets a star from me.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a star. I mean, no one's going to win an Oscar for it, but do you know what I mean? It's an 80s horror comedy film. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they give the performance that type of film requires. It's never a campy comedy horror thing.
Yeah.
Never going to get Oscars. It's
Yeah.
never going to get that deep.
No. Right, let's star it.
Star.
What's next? It is musical score and sound effects.
So the composer, Richard Band, had to invest $15,000
What?
of his own money.
Of his own money?
I read $1,500 a couple of places.
Right.
Like another couple of places I read $15,000. Then literally just before you came round I saw an interview with him.
Yeah.
And he said 15,000 in this interview. That seems really steep for me. So I
I've
would
got
go with
$1,500.
Yeah, you're looking from the same source I looked at originally. I would think it was 1,500, but his own interview said 15k. It was written 15k, so it's not even.
Oh right.
I mean, maybe there's a point I was missing 1.5k. Anyway, either way, he invested some of his own money to get the score finished because he ran over his deadline by a couple of days. That's $7,500 a day if it's 15.
Crikey.
So it must be. I think it must be 1,500.
Must be.
Anyway, the results are worth it.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
It's got strings and things.
Yeah, and that sort of keyboardy, organy type thing on the intro. I quite like that.
Yeah, it's another kind of more classically composed score, tense music. It's got rock drum kit on
Yeah.
that original score track. It's a nice touch rather than the percussioniness.
Yeah.
The film has the strings playing on their own, recurring at times. It matters, but mostly it's all about that theme that's insanely, instantly recognizable if you've heard it before. Recognizable if you've heard it before.
Yeah.
It's influenced a lot by the score from Psycho, which is itself, the film was inspired by 1959's House on Haunted Hill, which is a nice little loop for us there.
Oh, that's a nice little touch.
It's a less heavy score than Psycho, which is unsurprising considering the year and the comedy/campy aspects of the film.
Yeah.
But the interview I just read before you came around, he was talking a lot about the Psycho influence of this film, so I think it's pretty safe to definitely say
Yeah.
it's a take on Psycho's score.
Yeah.
Richard Band actually said in another interview I read that the end credits is meant to say, with acknowledgement and humble apologies to Bernard Herrmann,
Yes.
who is the composer for Psycho.
Yeah.
But due to a mistake, it wasn't written on there. I think due to a mistake is a nice way of saying they didn't do what I asked in the final cut.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe a score, I'm finding, doing this every week,
Yes. It's
talking
difficult.
about scores. But the score gets a star from me. Have you
Yeah.
got anything about the score particular to say?
I liked it.
There you go.
So, you heard it here first.
So, that's 4 out of 4 stars.
4 out of 4. So, overall experience, innit? How do you feel?
Well, I like to,
Hot
burning. Do you, what do you think? You giving it a star?
No, I'm not going to give it a star. I'm going to leave it at 4. I really enjoyed it. It's a good watch. I will watch it again. I also enjoyed the story, Herbert West, Re-Animator. Better than the film. It was good. I think I'm going to say 4.
What did we give Return of the Living Dead? Do you remember?
Probably 4.
4. I would think of 4. 5 is like a bang on film.
Yeah,
near
5's
perfect.
heavy hitter.
6 is above and beyond. As in the it's not just a perfect film, but it's because the brilliant effort has gone in, and they've just everyone in that film has just gone full on. I think they went full on in this film, all the actors.
Yeah.
I might give it a half.
Oh, give it a half. Go on.
Because I don't want to. It's a bit better than Return of the Living Dead.
It's better than Return of the Living Dead, definitely. And
but
as
it's
we said
not
earlier,
bang on perfect.
yeah,
It's certainly not 6.
yeah.
4.5. I'm gonna say.
Let's do it. 4.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well done. What film was it? Re-Animator.
Re-Animator.
God, it's hot. Right. That means we're moving on to listener mail. We'll see you there in a minute. I'm going to go and douse myself in cold water.
Listener mail.
Welcome to the listener mail section. Before we do any listener mail, I want to plug our competition again, because we are announcing the winner on the next episode, which is episode 10. Sorry,
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dead. Every 10 episodes, we are doing another George A. Romero film, and for this time, you can win some free Night of the Living Dead stuff. What have we got, Jimmy?
We've got Night of the Living Dead framed picture. We have a... What's that?
A mug.
We've got a Night of the Living Dead mug. And we also have the Night of the Living Dead Blu-ray.
And we will send it to whoever's name we pick out hat to enter.
We're going to pick out my hat, yeah?
Yeah, your hat, yeah. My hat's too manky. What was I saying? To enter, email us. Let us know what your favourite horror movie is and why, and we will send you some prizes if your name comes out. And also, we'll do an episode on the movie you pick.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Either the next episode or the one after, depending how recording sessions run.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, and no judgment here either. I don't care if your favourite horror movie is Bambi. I probably wouldn't pick that, actually.
Oh, it's quite terrifying, isn't it?
You know, if you pick Bambi, the name will go in the hat with the rest of them.
Anything. Any horror film, just drop us an email, tell us about it. Let's do it.
Alright, so let's move on to listener mail. I got 2 listener mails to read out.
Oh, okay.
Both of them competition entries.
Lovely. See, you want to get on it before anyone else does.
Oh yeah, I am reading these out, by the way. Obviously, not all of them, because that would take a while. So this email says, "Hello guys, I'm loving the podcasts. I have to say that my favourite horror film is The Exorcist." Good choice.
Okay, yeah.
It was the first film that truly terrified me and made me awkwardly giggle too.
Yep, fair enough.
I bet I know what scene that was.
Oh, yeah.
My friend and I decided to watch it when we were 12. I think it's where my love for horror started. Especially the part in the director's cut version with Reagan doing the crab walk down the stairs.
Yeah, it's fucking freaky.
I always found that super eerie. Thanks, guys. And that's from Zoe Heslop.
Right, nice one, Zoe.
And I emailed back saying, I do not remember the crab walk down the stairs, so I don't think I've seen the director's cut. So she lovingly sent me the video.
Oh, that's nice.
So now I've seen it.
Excellent.
And it is really eerie, you're right. It's fucking weird.
Yeah, really weird.
So the next email
Oh, okay.
I'm reading out is... this email's straight to the point.
Absolutely.
Man, I showed it to you just before we got on this. But it's good. It's going in the hat with the rest. Quality of email or writing doesn't matter or anything. But I like this. I think this is purposely to the point. It's funny. My favourite horror movie is From Dusk Till Dawn for the following reasons. 1. Vampires.
Yep.
2. Machete.
Yes.
3. Selma Hayek.
Yes.
4. It's OTT.
Yes.
5. It's a Tarantino movie.
Yes.
6. Boobs.
Oh, yeah.
7. Loads of gore.
Yes.
8. Great soundtrack.
Yes.
9. Meat band.
Oh, yeah.
10. Snakes.
Yeah.
Sent from my iPhone.
Right.
Hang on. That's Matt Payne.
Matt Payne.
It's on the subject. His name is Matt Payne. Well done, Matt Payne.
Probably should have put boobs as number 10. I would have said.
Why?
Just because that's the best part of it, isn't it?
Yes, number 1's the best part, right?
What was number 1 again?
Vampires.
Yeah. But put boobs at the end. Do you know what I mean? Vampires. Yes. Something
Machete.
else. Yes. Salma Hayek. Oh, hell yeah. And then right, boobs right at the end. Boobs. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they're all there. He doesn't say in order of importance,
Okay.
but there you go.
Right.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers, boy.
Right.
Pop it in the flat cap.
It will be a flat cap as well.
Or a pork pie. Could put it in the pork pie hat.
Yep. Any kind of hat. Hat doesn't really matter. I got a
Beanie.
couple of peak caps, a couple of beanies.
Woolly.
What is Woolly a beanie?
Nope.
Ah, okay. Top hat.
Top. Have you got a
Anything.
top hat?
No.
Ah. Cowboy. 10 gallon.
My wife has a cowboy hat.
Right. Let's stop talking about hats.
Yeah, because we can say it with any hat. They're not going to see it. It's a podcast. Right. That is the end of our episode on Re-Animator. 4.5 stars out of 5.
Lovely.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Right, so competition. Get on it.
Yes.
Give us an email. I want to know what your favourite... Even if you don't want the stuff, email me and just tell me what your favourite horror movie is anyway.
He just wants to know what your favourite horror film is.
So we're done, Jimmy.
Yep.
Email us, even if it's not for the competition or anything, at the madhousepodcast@outlook.com, and I will email you back. Probably read your email out at some point.
Yep.
if you let me. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get podcasts. Check us out on Facebook. Search for the Madhouse Podcast on Facebook to find us. Check us out on Instagram at the Madhouse Podcast. And again, email us themadhousepodcast@outlook.com. And we will see you next time on the Madhouse Podcast.
Yeah!
Bye. David, how could you?